Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk with you guys a little bit about how over time your reasons for training will change, and that's okay, and that's just part of growing and evolving as a person. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this. And you know what? Yes, those changes are sometimes positive, they're sometimes negative, but everyone needs to accept that for whatever reason you joined the gym, it will change over time. And you know what, guys? A lot of you guys started out either for sports or because you just wanted to look better to get girls, or you wanted to be more confident in general because you felt you just lacked confidence. And maybe that hurt you in all aspects of your life. Maybe you wanted to be more intimidating because you grew up in a bad neighborhood and you just didn't want guys to want to fight you as much. People have a lot of different reasons for why they first get into training. Those are some of the really common ones. And you know what? It's kind of funny how people's stuff evolves. And sometimes it evolves really early on in your training when you're still young. You know, you see some guys who say, hey, I just want to get girls. And they'll see a physique of some actor or model or someone who all the girls swoon over. They'll go try to get that physique. But then when they get to a certain point, they decide that's not enough. That's not enough. And they want to go more extreme. Now, what I would tell a lot of those guys, if you're not trying to get the Brad Pitt look or the underwear model look or Ryan Reynolds look or something like that, you're not doing it to get girls. You might think you're going to get more girls with that sort of look. As far as a physique goes, the slimmer, more athletic look, that is going to get you more girls than getting big, than getting really ripped, anything else. Being too ripped or too big is actually going to hurt your goals with that a little bit. It is going to, some girls might like it, but there's going to be other girls who don't like it. So if that's your motivation, you probably should stop gaining size at that point and don't go under about 9 or 10% body fat at the very leanest. Just throwing that out there. If you wanted to use your body to attract the widest range of women. But you know what? A lot of guys don't train for that reason at all. But just pointing out that a lot of times even your look reasons will start evolving within 6 months to a year of getting in the gym, particularly as you're influenced by physique culture or the online culture. That will affect it. So if you're actually doing it to try to impress girls or just feel better, I would completely avoid the entire online community because they will fuck you up really bad on that. They'll have you going in directions that are actually going to be the opposite of that, and they're going to hurt your confidence. You need to stay away from forums and stuff if that's your goal. But a lot of people get involved. You know, I meet a lot of guys down here in Texas who are older now, late 20s, early 30s or older, who started playing for football. That's a very, very common reason. I mean, high school football is massive in Texas. A ton of guys, thousands and thousands, if not a million young men play high school football in Texas. That's a good reason to start lifting. They start lifting. Some of them get hurt, some of them don't. And they go on to continue lifting, or they quit for a while, then they get back into shape. And they find that lifting just becomes part of their life. It just becomes something they do to feel better. And I mean, I've met some pretty big and pretty strong guys out there who started with high school football, who are 30 years old now or older, who just are still big and strong. But because they started with that strong base in their teens, they just kind of built upon it slowly. And they're bigger and stronger now than they were when they finished high school, or even when maybe they went to start university. Some of them started college and didn't finish out. You got to remember that. A lot of guys even start college in football and they don't go any further than that, don't even get their full scholarship, but there's a ton of those. But you know, once you reach that point, you know, training just becomes part of your life. And then those guys say, hey, you know, I just want to be fit and want to be healthy and be strong or athletic or whatever it is. And they continue that, but those guys tended to still be pretty big and strong if they started with that. Even when they say it's just fitness, because they built such a solid base early on and continue to build on it, they tend to be big and strong. But you know, as you go, your goals are going to change. Your goals are going to change a lot. And particularly you younger guys, if you guys start training when you're 18, 20, 21, I promise you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, unless you go do something physique competition related, your goals are absolutely going to change of what you want out of your training. A lot of guys will get to a point, and girls, to where it does just become about fitness, health, or they want it to carry over to some other endeavor of their life. They just want to be big and strong, or they want to be lean and athletic, or just feel better for life. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay at any point in time to change your goals. You know why? Because training and lifting and fitness are a lifestyle. They're a lifestyle. And the goals of that lifestyle are going to change over time. And you know what? People get locked into this idea that I train specifically for this or I train specifically for that, so I can't deviate from it. And I would ask people who do that, why? Is it making you happier to never deviate? I mean, does that make you more well-rounded as a person? When you get up and say, I train just because of this, you plan on doing that forever? There's no need to lock yourself into something that is a purely optional, recreational activity. There's no reason to be dogmatic and lock yourself into one thing. There's no reason that if you see something else that looks interesting, you can't open yourself up to that. There's no reason your training style can't change. There's no reason you can't change what you're doing. You know, a lot of guys out there get into training just to get really good and look ripped. Then they come over here and find out that, hey, it's not even healthy to be ripped. Being ripped or doing a contest can actually damage your body permanently. It can fuck up your hormone levels for the rest of your life. It can damage your organs. It can harm you to get contest ripped. Then they say, oh, I don't want to do that now, but I want to keep training. Oh my God, what do I do now? Well, pick another goal. Pick some other reason to train. And you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as you're training. You know, and I might pick a little bit on the guys who train for aesthetics because I think it's silly. But you know what? At least you're training. At least those guys are starting a fitness journey that as long as they don't hurt themselves chasing any one dream too badly, they're going to be better for it in the long term. Because no matter what your goals are or why you train, you know what all the data and all the research says? Lifting weights reduces your chances of having heart attacks, of having strokes, cuts your chance of getting cancer, all types of cancer in half. Cuts your chances of getting cancer in half. When you think about that, that's a mind-blowing statistic. The fact that people lift weights who resistance train, doesn't matter whether they're chasing aesthetics or they want to be a better football player or they just want to be strong and fit or they want to improve their golf game, whatever reason people lift, they cut their chances of getting cancer in half. That's pretty fucking amazing. That just something that you picked up for whatever reason as a hobby is going to cut your chances in half of dying of cancer. Actually cuts your chances of dying of it by 75%. Because it cuts your chances of getting it in half and it doubles your odds of surviving if you do get it. It's going to reduce your chance of diabetes by like 70 to 80%. Just resistance training, just working out regularly, a couple times a week or more. And most people are training more than a couple. Cuts your chances of diabetes 70 to 80%. People who resistance train can stave off osteoporosis for 20 to 30 years longer than other people. Sometimes they might not develop it at all. It delays osteoporosis. You know, all these old people, you know, who always get broke bones, broken hips, have to have hip replacement surgeries, all that stuff. That's due to osteoporosis. Weightlifting prevents that. I mean, that's the interesting thing about it. You know, whatever goals you are setting when you're young training, I would say follow those things as long as you're not doing anything that's going to hurt you too bad. You know what? Follow those dreams. And when something else comes up, follow that. And if you find another reason to train, follow that. Don't be dogmatic in it. Don't get stuck in one thing. Because you know what? As long as you keep training, as long as you find a new reason to keep training, anytime you get bored with it, you're going to cut your chances of getting cancer in half. You're going to stop the osteoporosis. You're going to cut your chance of a heart attack. You're going to cut your chance of having diabetes 80%. These are all horrific lifestyle-induced diseases. These are world-destroying, life-destroying diseases. And you're lifting weights, no matter what your reason is for doing so, no matter what your reason is for doing so, is going to help you with those things. I mean, that's reason enough to find new reasons to keep you motivated. Doesn't matter what your reason is, just find something that gets you into the gym because it's so worth it. Again, the other data we looked at that I showed you guys, once you hit your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, lifting weights can help your cognition. It can help your memory. It can help your intelligence. It can make you smarter and happier than other people in your age group. That's massive. I mean, that again, by itself, that by itself is reason enough for people to step back and say, I better keep finding a reason to train and find something that motivates me, something that drives me to keep me in the gym for the rest of my life. Because the health benefits, the mental benefits, the emotional benefits of resistance training, no matter what your reason is, no matter what your reason is worth it. It's so worth it. And it just blows my mind as the years go on. Because, I originally got into lifting over 20 years ago the first time. Got into it over 20 years ago. And I noticed that when I had to quit lifting medically, my doctors told me to stop all exercise, stop lifting, and then my health degenerated immediately. After they told me to quit training due to health issues, I was in bed sick within 3 months. I was physically too sick to even get around anymore because my health problems degenerated, my mental health degenerated, my depression degenerated, my entire mind and body fell apart when I quit working out because I've had to because of an autoimmune related issue. I fell apart in every way possible. And you know what? When I started training again, my depression went away. When I got up and forced myself to learn to walk again, to force myself to train again, my depression went away. All my health problems started improving. Because you know what? Once I became sedentary, I started gaining weight quickly. I started developing pre-diabetes, hypoglycemia, depression, everything else. And when I started training again, all of those things went away. Within a few months, they were gone. The pre-diabetes was gone. The depression was gone. And I had a desire to keep moving on and keep pushing forward with life. And over the 20 years ago that I started training, so much research has emerged that supports all of that. All this research showing that it helps with cancer, with diabetes, with depression, that it helps improve mental cognition. It even makes you happier as you get older, that lifting weights actually improves your happiness and memory as you age. It's amazing how much research has come out over the years showing the absolutely mind-blowing, enormous health benefits of lifting weights. In light of that, every one of us have a duty to ourselves to keep ourselves in the weight room. And you know what? We've got a duty to every person that we love and that we care about in any way to tell them, hey, you should start lifting weights. Now that we know what all the health and mental benefits are to resistance training and lifting weights, I think every single one of us have a duty to tell all the people in our life that we love, hey, you really need to lift weights. And that's a message that can't be stressed enough. You need to find a reason to train. It's important. It is so important given what we know about it. That we have to find reasons to keep ourselves in the gym no matter what, and to get everyone that we care about in there with us. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.